very warm welcome to the National Smadarasi. This is Intellectual Exchange with me, Sandhya Ravishankar. In today's episode of the Intellectual Exchange, we have a journalist from South India, and she's especially from Tamil Nadu. And she has done various research on Dravidian politics. So we will decode the Dravidian politics and what are the myths and lies spread by them. You can see the Dravidian politics, which has been in the front line in the Indian politics as well. So we will decode it one by one. Namaste, Sandhya ma'am. Thank you for joining with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure talking to you. So thank you for giving us a wonderful opportunity to host you.
Thank you, Dharma.
Ma'am, so often you have been, closely observing the Dravidian politics. So I would like to start with what is this Dravidian model? After MK Stalin took charge as CM of Tamil Nadu, so he keeps on instigating that Dravidian model, and even in front of the Prime Minister of the country, he used to say that he should follow the Dravidian model as well. Firstly, what is the Dravidian model, ma'am, according to you?
Well, frankly speaking, I really don't know what the Dravidian model is.
Okay.
But since Tamil Nadu has, after independence, been ruled by the Dravidian parties, ever since 1967, there has been no national party that has ruled Tamil Nadu. So, because of that, I guess the so-called Dravidian model has been coined. But we have to understand a few things about the Dravidian parties, especially the DMK. The DMK are masters of propaganda. Okay. The party was started with the mass medium of cinema as its base, and they customized, tailor-made, they twisted and tweaked film scripts, they wrote film scripts, they chose actors and actresses who would spout those dialogues which were part of their ideology, and this was transmitted to people of Tamil Nadu through the mass medium of cinema. So that is the point where the Dravidian movement actually begins. So when it comes to the DMK specifically, the current Chief Minister MK Stalin, his father Karunanidhi, was a very prominent script and dialogue writer in Tamil cinema. It was his film scripts, his dialogues, which were mouthed by another, huge Dravidian hero called M.G. Ramachandran, who was the founder of the AIADMK, the other Dravidian party. Now, it was these two who sort of had a lot of, influence over the scripts of the films, over the pushing of the Dravidian ideology in Tamil Nadu through the medium of cinema. So, the Dravidian parties, they understood the mass media, they understood messaging, the art of communication to the people of Tamil Nadu. They understood it very early on, which is what makes them masters of propaganda. So, the usage of terms like Dravidian stock and Dravidian model, all of this is just propaganda. At the same time, I also have to say that there have been a lot of very progressive schemes, progressive policies that have been introduced in Tamil Nadu over the last 70 years, like you said. And many of these schemes are now being replicated in other states and by the national, at the national level itself. So Tamil Nadu has in fact had a series of very, very bright bureaucrats, very bright visionary leaders like Kamaraj. Of course, he's not a Dravidian leader, but he was there. Mr. Karunanidhi, a lot of schemes were implemented under him. MGR, a lot of schemes were implemented under him. So a lot of the health, especially healthcare related schemes, if you see, many of them, Tamil Nadu has been the forerunner. It has been the pioneer of sorts. And these have, once it has become a success in Tamil Nadu, they have been adopted by other states and at the national level itself.
Okay, got it. So, one such thing which we can see about the DMK is like they don't respect the god, especially Hindu gods as well. Their parent body, that is the Dravidian Kazhagam, they do this often, like day in and day out, all these Veeramanis and Subhavira Padyans or do all these stunts, and they used to say this. But even DMK now openly called for an abolition of Sanatana Dharma and compared it with AIDS and HIV and malaria, dengue and other such diseases as well. So what's the, I mean, where is the root cause or where is the root ideology for all these things? Like we can openly say that they are against a particular religion, they are against a particular caste as well. So where did it started from actually?
The root of this was actually, funnily enough, it was in opposition to the Congress party. So E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar, who is called Periyar, or Periyar actually in Tamil means the elder one, or somebody who's great, right? So he was actually part of the Indian National Congress before independence, and in 1925, Periyar or E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar, he had a falling out with the Congress. So he could not agree with Gandhi, MK Gandhi. He had various differences with Ambedkar, with a lot of other people, and he decided to come out of the Congress. He came out of the Congress and joined what is called the Justice Party. Now, Justice Party was the other party which was there in Tamil Nadu. Now, the Justice Party was formed by a group of people who were wealthy landlords. So they were landowning castes, very, very wealthy people, well educated. They had access to, all the various, various positions of power in society. They all had one common grouse. The common grouse was that the Brahmins of Tamil Nadu were in all the positions of power in the government. Okay. So they were working very closely with the British. And as a result, they felt that they had been excluded. The so-called non-Brahmin castes, they felt that they had been excluded. Now remember, these are not necessarily backward castes. They are, today many of them are still classified as forward castes. But at that time, they are not Brahmin castes, right? So,
non-Brahmins, in a simple
basically non-Brahmins. But not necessarily your Dalits or your OBCs.
Got it.
Right?
Who are really looking for empowerment.
Yes, so basically they were upset that the Brahmins had sort of taken over all the jobs which the British had kept in place. So the Brahmins were everywhere. They were, basically ruling the whole bureaucracy, the upper levels of the, of the government. The clerks, all of them were Brahmins at that time. And the non-Brahmin caste felt excluded, which was fair enough. So they formed an association which then became a political party. And when the British were under pressure to give some sort of, powers, political powers to the Indians, that's when the Justice Party and the Congress, they contested elections. And the Justice Party actually won the elections also. So, E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar, he fights with the Congress leadership, he comes out and he decides to join the Justice Party. Alright. And then the Justice Party slowly loses out to the Indian National Congress, because by then a leader called Rajaji comes into the center of things. And Rajaji becomes a very prominent force. This is then independence happens. This is the time of, a lot of patriotism. And the Justice Party is thrown out and Congress comes to power. So Periyar has taken over the leadership of the Justice Party, which is it's disintegrating. And he then says, I don't want this to be a political party, and he converts it into what is called the Dravidar Kazhagam. Now the Dravidar Kazhagam, this is where the first sort of use of the term Dravidar actually comes in, where Dravida, it's there in ancient texts also. It is there in Sangam literature. It is there even in Sanskrit literature. Dravida actually means a peninsula, which is land covered by sea on three sides, which is the southern part of India. Right?
Got it.
So, Dravida Nadu is basically, it refers to the entire portion of South India, all the states of South India as we know it today. But this appropriation of the term Dravida is done by E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar. And he then, he gives credence to a fiction which was created by some of the British writers. The British guys who were here, some of them had come up with this theory that there were Aryans, an Aryan race. So basically the idea was, why are South Indians dark skin and why are North Indians fair skin, right? Like it's...
Got it.
So there was a theory that they are different races. And the British decided, they came up with some fake theory saying the Aryans had come from the steppes of Central Asia.
Khyber and Bolan Pass.
Exactly. So they came from there, they invaded India. And so the northern part of India, belonged to the Aryans. They invaded the land, and they came to the south also. And because some of the Brahmin, castes were light-skinned in Tamil Nadu, so therefore anybody who was light-skinned was called Aryans. So the theory that Periyar, which was originally started by the British, Periyar decided that this whole Aryan theory was correct, that Brahmins were actually Aryans who had come from some other part of the world, invaded India, and they were dominating or ruling over all the other Dravidians of Tamil Nadu. This was the bizarre theory, and it served his political purposes because Ramasamy Nayakar was also not a Brahmin, and he was very clear that because at that time the Brahmins of Tamil Nadu were only about 5% of the population. They were a soft target. They were not people who would fight. They would not retaliate. So if you harass a Brahmin, that Brahmin is not going to retaliate. Okay. That person is going to run away and hide. Okay. So they were a very sort of soft kind of people, soft targets, if you want to call it that. Of course, they did hold all the positions of power in the bureaucracy, in the courts, as magistrates, as accountants, clerks. All those positions were held by the Brahmins at that time. So Ramasamy Nayakar decided that these were soft targets, and in order to gain power in society, political power, he would have to do exactly what the British did, which was divide and rule. So it became Brahmins versus non-Brahmins in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, so the timeline would be exactly it started around 100 years before. If we can say 100 years before, all this Brahmin versus non-Brahmin narratives and the concept of war started between 100 years.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, got it. So we often hear that Periyar has been giving voice against caste oppression and other things, and so whenever they used to portray him as a warrior of the female empowerment and other such things, as the BJP or the other right-wing ideology peoples even criticize Periyar that he has not done so enough for the women empowerment, or he has not done anything on the caste oppression or other things, and he was very particular on such things, and he was very selective on such issues as well. What's your take on that, ma'am?
A lot of my generation, we grew up reading about, let's put it this way, we grew up reading analysis of Periyar. Okay. We did not actually read Periyar's work. Okay. That happened in the generation before us. Okay. But now we have gone back to what Periyar actually said, his speeches, his writings, all of that. We are now going over it, and we are realizing that the analysis of E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar's ideology, if you want to call it that, that has been done by a few generations of Dravidian apologists. Yes, ideologues, apologists, whatever you want to call it that, right? And they have cherry-picked what he said, and they have lionized him. Okay. They have made him larger than life. They have made him a very great man. Okay. Now, let's come to the specific point about E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar being against caste oppression. He was against Brahmins. He was against one caste, Brahmins. Okay. He said that the Brahmins should be exterminated, that Brahmins should be beaten. If you see a snake or if you see a Brahmin, go kill the Brahmin first, beat the Brahmin first. These are the kind of invectives he has used against Brahmins, and he has very, very openly instigated violence against Brahmins. So he was against one particular caste. Did he apply the same principles to other castes, to the lowest strata of society to the poorest strata of society? The answer is no.
Okay.
There was no point of time where E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar ever spoke about, say, like for example, the Dalits, the Pallars, the Parayars, the Arundadiyars of Tamil Nadu. Because if any of the castes needed emancipation, it was them.
Yeah,
If anybody needed empowerment, even today,
yeah, exactly.
it's them. Nothing was spoken about them. There was no point of time where E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar ever said that these people should be allowed to go into temples. They should be allowed to marry other castes. Nothing. So what E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar did in effect was that he created what is called a neo-Brahmin.
Okay.
Right? Like this is what Dalit intellectuals call it. I disagree with the term neo-Brahmin, but anyway, let's agree with their ideology right now. So he created what is called the neo-Brahmin, which was basically the other forward and other OBC castes, which are classified as OBC now. They were the dominant castes in terms of population,
Okay.
in terms of landowning castes, in terms of wealth.
Okay.
So I'm not going to name them because I don't want to, say that XYZ castes
Got it.
are perpetrating violence or perpetrating caste aggression.
Got it.
But you go to any village in Tamil Nadu, you will find that there will be Brahmins, there will be perhaps priestly class, maybe in some places they will be landowning, very rarely.
Very rare. Yeah.
But apart from the Brahmins, who actually runs the village, who's the head of the village,
Okay.
who's the most powerful person in the village? It is most likely it will be a member of a dominant caste group,
Let's say OBC from OBC.
which is likely to be an
Okay.
OBC. It could also be an FC. Okay, it could
Other
also,
than Brahmins.
other than Brahmins. So it will only be one of these dominant castes, and if you see those castes they will continue to aggressively and actively perpetrate caste aggression against your Pallars, Parayars and Arundadiyars, and also some of the other smaller non-dominant OBCs. Okay. So what E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar did in essence was he empowered those aggressive, caste aggressive dominant castes even more.
Okay. By feeding anti-Brahmin narratives.
Yes. So by disempowering the Brahmin and by making this particular caste more powerful, he also ensured that the rift in society was larger.
Okay.
So this caste, which was already aggressive, it was numerically big, prone to violence also. Some of them were even prone to violence. These castes were the ones who did all the so-called honor killings.
Okay.
So if a Dalit boy married into this community, for instance,
got it.
that Dalit boy would be finished off.
Okay.
We know many examples are there. So this community got a voice through E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar, and this community was also emboldened to perpetrate caste aggression against the most oppressed castes in Tamil Nadu.
Got it. So this Brahmin or anti-Brahmin narratives was there from the beginning. Let's say from 1917 or 1924, it goes on till date. But when did it has converted into an anti-Hindu narrative? See, today they abuse gods, like right from Vinayagar, right from Lord Ram, like from Lord Krishna and other gods. And I think they have never touched Lord Murugan or other deities in Tamil Nadu. But since the Brahmin oppression or the Brahmin anti-Brahmin narratives was there, when did this convert into as a anti-Hindu narrative? See, because in the early days of his life, I don't think E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar spoke about anti-Hindu or defaming gods there. When did it actually turn? And today they are still taking it. See, be it Vel Yatra, which was recently did by the BJP Tamil Nadu, and before that they have been supporting the abusers of Lord Murugan. And still they used to call that where did Ram studied engineering and where did he build all those things. Even Karnataka did that. And DK, we can't, we don't want to say that. They often do the business with all those comments actually from Lord Krishna or other things as well. And I remember that in 1971 elections, Mr. K. Veeramani openly said that we we garlanded Lord Rama with slipper, and then we won the elections very majoritarily. And even now we are touching Lord Murugan, and then we are going to win. And the same thing has happened also. And I don't know what's the narrative between Tamil Nadu's politics and the Tamil Nadu people as well. Because I think Tamil Nadu is one such state where 90% of the people, 95% of Hindus regularly go to temples, and they are very devotional as well. So where this narrative goes wrong, we can discuss that later. But let's say, when did this anti-Brahmin narrative become an anti-Hindu narrative?
So at the beginning, just after E.V. Ramasamy Nayakar took over the Dravidar Kazhagam, he went a little sort of off the rails, okay? He was a rationalist, he was an atheist, he was propagating atheism. He wanted Tamil Nadu to stop, worshipping gods, because he felt that the caste system was the root of all evil, and therefore people should become atheists. To prove his point, he had garlanded a Ganesha statue with chappals. He had broken idols of Ganesha, various other idols. He had broken it, and all this was causing a lot of anger within the Hindu society. Like you said, Tamil Nadu is a very devout state. People are very, very devout Hindus. It is seen as Shiva's land in many ways.
Exactly.
So it caused a lot of concern and anger among the Hindu society. It was around this time that there were a lot of very bright followers of Periyar who were students. People like C.N. Annadurai, M. Karunanidhi. All of them were with Periyar at this time.
Okay.
Over a period of time, they realized that being with Periyar is going to be a liability.
Okay.
Because he was doing all this stuff. He was upsetting the
Anna was
Hindus.
slightly different from his ideologies, I think.
Well, he was, and I'll tell you why. Again, it was opportunism. Because initially he was very much a follower of Periyar, and after a point of time, Annadurai decided that he wanted to have nothing to do with Periyar. There was a point of time when they were not speaking with each other. In fact, Annadurai was going on stages and he was criticizing Periyar on a lot of the things he has said and done. And this also was because Annadurai wanted to contest elections.
Okay.
Ramasamy Nayakar said no.
Okay.
We have to be a social organization. Dravidar Kazhagam has to be a social organization. That is one of the reasons they decided to part ways. Annadurai moved out and took with him a large chunk of the Dravidar Kazhagam. They formed the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, the DMK. Contested elections, 1967, Annadurai becomes chief minister. And of course, after that, Karunanidhi comes to the fore after Annadurai is passing away in 1969. So Annadurai, a lot of people say Annadurai was a very different person from the other DMK leaders, but we don't really know because Annadurai was only in power for 2 years.
Okay.
He died early.
Okay.
So we don't know what he would have been, who he would have been if he had continued. But anyway, Annadurai was definitely an opportunist because his mentor is Periyar. He had been spouting Periyar's ideology all these years. Then suddenly when he wants to contest for election, he throws the mentor out into the cold, starts abusing him, disassociating himself with the mentor, and he moves out. So yes, so that is actually the point of time where the younger lot, that is Annadurai and Karunanidhi and Nedanjari and all these people realize that Periyar is a liability. He's upsetting devout Hindus. So they move away from him and they form the DMK. And there is a very famous saying of Annadurai, Ondre Kulam Oruvane Deivan. What does that mean? That means I may be an atheist. This is what Anna is trying to tell the people of Tamil Nadu. I am an atheist. I may not believe in God.
Okay.
But I will allow you to be. I will not impose my atheism on you because Periyar was trying to impose his atheism. I will not abuse your gods. you vote for me.
Okay. So that's what the narrative of Annadurai is.
Yes.
Ma'am, often we can see, I'll come to this Annadurai Karnanidhi part later. Often we can see the separatist ideology of the Dravida Kazhagam or even DMK, we can say. Even 4 years before, if I'm not wrong, they have said that we welcome the Dravida Nadu formation and other things as well. And even I remember Anna said that that will be our end goal, and so Dravida Nadu is like our object or like a goal as such. And we can see still going beyond that, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar was keen to form a country called as Dravidistan, and he met Jinnah and he met Ambedkar at that time. There was some controversy between all these three as well. So in that time, Jinnah was keen for that, but Ambedkar was not in favor of that, because Ambedkar at the end of the day he was a pure nationalist, and he said that I don't want my country to be divided into many parts. Like I'm not into it. So these are the things which beyond they have planned or they have portrayed. And there is another criticism on E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar is like he's an agent of British. Like he speaks on only against the Hinduism, and he is getting money from the church, and he is getting money from the British so and so or the missionaries so and so. This criticism has been put on Periyar, and this is not a new criticism which has been evolved. So it is there since last 50 to 60 years. So is this really true? Was he an agent of a British, or was he looking to separate all these states from the mainland of India? What's your take on that?
So his idea was that, he obviously went along with the Britishers' theory of the Aryan invasion.
Okay.
And
even on the Independence Day itself, he was raising all those black flags.
Yes,
and,
Dravida Kazhagam said that the Indian Independence Day, that is August 15, 1947, was a black day, and that and they all wore black in mourning. They didn't want the British to leave because Periyar's, his hypothesis was that if the British leave India, then the Brahmins will rule over everybody else, and he did not want the Brahmins to rule over everybody else. This was his basic grounds. Like I said, he was entirely against one particular caste, which was, well, at that time, yes, the Brahmins were occupying a lot of positions of power under the British rule. No doubt about it. And a lot of the anger that he was expressing was justified. But like you're saying, was he an agent of the British? I don't know if he was an agent of the British, but I can tell you for a fact that he was definitely very convinced by a lot of the nonsense theories that were being, spouted by the British, and he was actively propagating them. The Aryan invasion theory is one that has been proved over and over and over again. If I'm not mistaken, even last month they have excavated stuff in the Harappan, sorry, not the Harappan, this thing, is somewhere in Madhya Pradesh, if I'm not mistaken. Archaeologists have found evidence that the chariots that were there, they did not come from any other part of the world, but they were indigenous. So the whole Aryan theory has been repeatedly debunked.
Okay.
But Ramaswamy Naikar used it to its full capacity, to its full potential.
Allow me to say this. So, was an Aryan invasion theory or the other such theory has been promoted to spread the anti-Brahminism? At the end of the day, what they define as who is an Aryan is like they used to define people who are Brahmins. Because till today they are used to do, openly in TV debates also, one of the DMK spokesperson told that if Narendra Modi is not a Brahmin, we will accept him as a Dravidian. Okay, and they are accepting Rahul Gandhi as a Dravidian also, and
which is weird.
Which is weird. And so, was this a part of an anti-Brahmin narrative? Because, like at the end of the day, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar did this to promote, to promote this anti-Brahmin narrative, and he promoted the Aryan invasion theory. Was it like that?
Definitely. The whole Aryan invasion theory was used beautifully by Ramaswamy Naikar to propagate anti-Brahminism. There's another, and this is where the point I had made about the DMK and the Dravidian ideologists being masters of propaganda. They take one small word or one small phrase in some small obscure manuscript of the many books and manuscripts that the Hindu religion has. They'll take one small phrase from it and they'll twist it out of proportion, out of context, and so that it suits their nonsense. So, for example, the term Arya. The term Arya is used to denote a particular a person with particular qualities in many of the Hindu religious texts. So an Arya is somebody who is dharmic, who has all those various qualities which are supposed to be there for the ideal man, right? But these people have picked up the term Arya to mean the Aryan race, which means somebody who's come from another part of the world into India.
Okay.
So it's completely taken out of context. It's taken out of its original meaning, twisted out of proportion, and fed to the public.
Got it.
So you have generations of people in Tamil Nadu who are gone, who are only hearing this propaganda. They don't have access to the original texts. They don't have access to Periyar's original speeches. I am telling you, if these kids who believe in the Dravidian movement, they believe in Periyar, if they listened to the speeches of A.V. Ramasamy Nayakar, I'm telling you, their ears will bleed.
Okay.
The kind of...
He has spoken, he has criticized heavily on the DMK also.
He has done that. But the kind of words he has used, the language he has used, the average middle class Tamilian will hang his or her head in shame.
Okay.
That kind of filthy language, that kind of abuse, that kind of, disgusting, connotations that are being used, double meanings, absolute filth. This is actually not a one-off speech that he has made. This is 99% of his speeches.
Okay.
But all of this have been, beautifully removed. The 1% of what he said has been packaged nicely.
Okay.
He has been packaged as an individual, an intellectual. He has been beautifully gift wrapped and delivered to all of us.
Got it. Ma'am, since we spoke about the idea of separation, till today, and there is another party called as Nam Tamilar, where they often they speak against the sovereignty of India or the constitutional authority of India. There is another guy called as Tirumurugan Gandhi. All these are their root. They believe in Periyar and the other things. They were once associated with the Dravida Kazhagam, and now they are individual parties and other things. So, what is the end cause, or what is the answer for all these kinds of answer to all these kinds of separatists? Because at the end of the day, separatists should not be allowed in any forms, because we know what the country has struggled to get an independence and what the country has took in shape to attain its geographical extent in today's world. So, what is the idea of all these separatists? Still, they used to say that, Seeman's separatism is somewhat different from Dravida Kazhagam separatism, because he has love towards Sri Lanka and all these Eezhu Tamilargal and Tamils who are living in Sri Lanka as well. So, what is the answer for all these kinds of separatism? Because we will deal into other factors which has been done by the DMK. And so, what is your take on the separatism which is still existing in the state of Tamil Nadu?
So, people like Seeman and Tirumurugan Gandhi, they use little bits of Ramasamy Nayakar's ideology, little bits of the DMK's ideology, little bits of the separatist thought process that you were talking about, and they blend all of it to create a sort of something that looks very rebellious, an ideology that looks very rebellious and very progressive. And this is done so that they can lure the youth. A lot of the youth will go against what their parents say. Like most teenagers, the young adults, they don't want to do what their parents do. And most of the parents are either DMK supporters or ADMK supporters. Okay. So these kids, they don't want to do what their parents do. So they look for alternatives. And this is exactly how a person like Seeman has come to the fore. Right? So he offers a very rebellious sounding alternative. If you actually dig deeper and ask him some questions, he has no ideology, right? He has nothing to say. He has no vision. He has absolutely nothing except a nice way of delivering his speeches. He's a very captivating speaker. That's the only thing he has. So this section of your first time voters, your second time voters,
students,
very young kids, they all gravitate to Seeman. They like the way he speaks. They like his fiery delivery. They like his bombast.
Okay.
And they like
not only the words or ideology.
They don't know enough. They don't know enough. They are very captivated by him. He's all over social media.
Okay.
So it's that generation which is actually following him. And also some of the the younger lot who are from very oppressed backgrounds. They don't have jobs. They are unemployed. They are frustrated. So people like Tirumurugan Gandhi, they provide an outlet for these youngsters because they are raging against the powers that be. Right? So they are spewing anger at the government. They are spewing anger at the ruling classes. So it's a very attractive proposition for these kind of kids who are frustrated, they are unemployed, they need an outlet for their anger. This is the exact niche position that these people occupy. And they are very, very well funded by the church.
Okay.
And by the church, I am saying it's church of a variety of hues. So it could be a Roman Catholic church, it could be the CSI. CSI in fact has so many NGOs. So many NGOs. So many missionary organizations. They are actively funding a lot of such similar sounding people with ideologies and NGOs with ideologies similar to Seeman's and Tirumurugan Gandhi's, and a lot of this money actually goes to these people as well. So Tamil Nadu, the funding that the church gets, if you look, I don't know if a lot of the audience has noticed, but recently the Rajya Sabha MP P. Wilson had moved a bill to restore funding for all the FCRA funding for all the Christian NGOs in Tamil Nadu. Yes, which have been stopped from getting funding. Huge amounts of money, and this is not a conspiracy theory. I have actually worked on this. Okay, I have done the research on this along with a few other colleagues and friends. The money that is coming from foreign countries into NGOs in Tamil Nadu is huge. It's ridiculous sums of money.
Got it.
Now, what has happened is that the FCRA, the rules and laws have been tightened. Many of these NGOs have lost that funding. They don't have that amount of money any longer. So, people who have been getting the money from the church through these NGOs, they are now suffering.
Okay.
And that is, in fact, the reason why the DMK has also gone and done this, have appealed that...
recently the NIA, the National Investigation Agency, has raided the various locations of the parties, functionaries of Seeman's party. So what does that? Because I heard that they have been planning for an armed...
yes, that's their link with
what's the kind of narrative are they trying to suggest?
It's really bizarre. See, Seeman's party is made up of all kinds of lumpen elements, to say the least. And I'm not at all surprised that they have found that his functionary has been working with the LTT to smuggle arms and restart the LTT and the war in Sri Lanka. I'm not at all surprised, because this is the kind of people that Seeman actively goes out and attracts. He wants to see, or he wants himself to be seen as a champion of the Tamils of northern Sri Lanka. Fine, you want to be a champion? I would suggest he should go there and stand for elections or do whatever he does. In Tamil Nadu, he should do it in Yarpanam or in Mullaitivu or wherever. But this is... And see, in Seeman's party, there's another very prominent person as well. Lottery Martin's son.
Got it. And he is having connections with all the Dravidian parties.
Exactly.
He's one of the main funders with the DMK and
Exactly.
others.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you have people like Lottery Martin, you have this LTT, some guy who's a sympathizer of LTT, he's doing arms smuggling. Arms smuggling goes hand in hand with drug smuggling.
Okay.
So all of this stuff is going on right under our noses in Tamil Nadu, and it's all linked to a political party. I think there's something seriously wrong with it.
Okay. Got it.
And I definitely think the youth who are attracted to Seeman's party, they need to be told all this.
Got it. Since you mentioned the word about the drug smuggling, so the biggest burst have happened in Tamil Nadu, and I don't know what amount of kg have they been seized, and officially they have reported such and such, and we don't know still how much. It's like watching the Tamil films or watching Kamal Hassan films, which is happening in our day-to-day life. So, what is the end card to it? See, Punjab has been heavily facing the drug smuggling which is happening in the state of Punjab, and moreover that from Punjab it is moreover spread to all the northern part of India as well. But now in South India, especially the state of Tamil Nadu, drug smuggling has been one of the major issue, and the main arrestee or the main suspect is a functionary of the DMK as well. So, what does this tells the external world?
It tells the external world that the drug routes that were in operation during the time when the LTT was very much present and powerful in Sri Lanka, those drug routes continue to remain the same, and it's just the people have just changed hands. But the drug trade has continued. This is not a new thing. We may not have heard of too many drug busts in Tamil Nadu in the past. I'm really happy that it's happening now. But it has, and Narcotics Bureau officials, they do confirm that it has increased in the recent years, perhaps because of COVID. That's one of the theories. We don't know if it's true or not, but that's what they were saying, that maybe after COVID it has increased. But the world actually, or maybe the Tamilians are not very sure, are not very aware that the LTT actually got money to buy guns and submarine and tanks and all those things. How did they get all that money? They got it through drug smuggling. And the drug smuggling was facilitated by people in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu was the transit point. It would then go to Sri Lanka. From Sri Lanka, it will go to various countries. It will go to Europe, it will go to Australia, South America, whatever. So, Sri Lanka was and is a global transit point for drugs. Okay? So, you have India, you have Sri Lanka, you have Afghanistan, Pakistan. Drug will come like this. From this side, Myanmar, etc. It will come through the country by Indian Railways, by people transporting it by road, comes to Tamil Nadu, comes to the coast of Tamil Nadu. They are put into boats. The boats go mid-sea. There will be an exchange between the Indian Tamil and Sri Lankan Tamil fishermen. They will take it back. From there, it will go to other parts of the world. This is how it works. I think
we can do a separate episode on this is one of the major problems for the next generation people as well. Ma'am, to continue in our episode, often we can see, as earlier you mentioned, that they have the powerful tool of setting the narratives through the cinema. Till today, two things have been done in this. One is spreading hate against Hindi language, and the other thing is criticizing the Hindi speaking people as well, calling them as Vadakan and calling them in abusive languages still today, and it has been happening and it has been criticized as well. From where did this anti-Hindi narrative came from? Because Tamil Nadu is the only one state which has done anti-Hindi agitation twice. One is before independence and one is after independence, and that is the way. That is a main tool for the DMK to get into the power as well. In 1960s, I am saying.
You're right.
So that is one of the main tools they have used against the Congress at that time, and they have came into the power. So, where did this anti-Hindi narrative came from, or did they use this anti-Hindi narratives to come into the power or stay into the power and keep away the national parties in order to not come to the power in Tamil Nadu?
This was a ploy to defeat the Congress electorally.
Okay.
So the first time Ramasamy Naikar used it was against the Rajaji government. Of course, that bill which sought to introduce compulsory Hindi education in all schools of Tamil Nadu. I mean, it was all over the country actually, because
it was a constitutional.
Exactly. So it was basically the Congress party felt that there must be one Indian language which is a link language for everybody in the country.
Got it.
And it was a time of patriotism, right? It was seen as, it was an anti-British period where people said, we don't want to have anything to do with our colonial aggressors. We don't want to have anything to do with English. English cannot be a link language because most Indians, large number of Indians speak Hindi. Therefore, Hindi was a natural choice for a link language. So they sought to introduce Hindi learning compulsorily in all schools across the country. But in Tamil Nadu, at that time in many parts of the country, there was only Congress party. There were no other parties, right? There was no opposition. But in Tamil Nadu, there was a strong opposition. There was a strong political opposition to the Congress. And they took advantage of this thing to create a narrative that the Congress is pro-Hindi. They are anti-Tamil.
Okay.
And they are trying to wipe out Tamil.
Okay. They are setting this narrative for BJP also. Okay.
So that automatically resonated with people, of course, because people in Tamil Nadu, Hindi is an alien language, right? Even today it's an alien language. So it worked well, and as a result, a lot of youth came out on the streets, they protested, and Rajaji was forced to take it back.
Okay.
Then the second wave of Hindi agitation happened when Indira Gandhi wanted to declare Hindi as the official language. As the national language. And then there was again another wave. This wave was very violent, after which DMK came to power. Because by then all the DMK guys were part of the protests. There were self-immolations, buses were torched, all sorts of things happened. And so anti-Hindi agitation was used as a very powerful political tool because language and geography, these two things were used by the Dravidian politicians to sort of create a rift between the other. They needed, you need an enemy if you want to unite a set of people, you need an enemy. Right? So the first enemy was the Brahmin. So once you made the Brahmin powerless, now there are only around 2% of Brahmins in the state. From 5% they are down to 2%. Most of them have gone abroad. They live abroad. So the 2% are people who are not able to go abroad. They are not very wealthy. So now the Brahmin has become rather irrelevant in Tamil Nadu politics. How long, like you said, 100 years you've been beating the Brahmin over and over again. After a point, people will stop getting, coming together for it. So now they need a new enemy. The new enemy is the North Indian.
Okay. Good.
So he is the enemy. That's why they use all those terms for him. Pani Puri Wala, Vadakkan, etc., etc. I don't even know what a word is. It's all disgusting rhetoric. That's why they say that the North Indian is a person who's committing crimes against
trying
women.
to grab your opportunities.
Exactly, trying to take away your opportunities.
Jobs and everything in government.
Yes, exactly. Trying to impose his language on you. All this rhetoric is there, and that's a very, very potent enemy. He's an enemy.
People emotionally convinced with that also.
Exactly. So people will rally against the North India.
Got it.
In Tamil Nadu, you will see somebody is talking Hindi on the road, you will automatically be like, why is this fellow talking Hindi in my land? Even people like
hatred which they have plotted actually.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even
they have succeeded in that. We should say that.
Exactly. All you need to do is create an enemy. The Brahmin was the enemy. Brahmin has outlived his usefulness.
Okay.
Now he's boring.
We often spoke about the anti-Hindi narratives and other such narratives as being spread up by the DMK. And how did they use the cinema? Be it they used to show the social empowerment of the downtrodden societies of the downtrodden caste in the movies. And so they used to act exact oppositely. The MLAs or the party functionaries used to act exact opposite of what they are doing in their movies or what they used to say it as a social empowerment and other such things. So in Tamil, they used to call it a Samuga media as well. So what's your take on that? And are they successful or are they having are they still having the influence in the cinema industry even now? What is your take on it?
See, the Dravidian ideologues definitely have a lot of influence over the cinema industry, because if you see all of the main actors and not so much actresses, but definitely actors, they will spout a lot of these kind of dialogues, which are against Hindi, against North Indians, against Brahmins. A lot of these kind of ideological dialogues will be incorporated into scripts. There will be a slight communist tinge in all of the scripts. It will not be, overtly capitalistic. You won't find many films which are overtly capitalistic or about making money, etc. You will always find that the heroes are very willingly becoming part of this kind of narrative. And that is also to a large extent the reason is that the DMK more or less controls the entire film industry in Tamil Nadu. So you have, now Udayanidhi Stalin has actually resigned from his position in Red Giant Movies, but it is well known that it is definitely his film production company. The Marans, we all know, have a stranglehold over the cable network, also the television serials. All of these, the Maran brothers, yes, Sun Pictures, of course, DTH, Maran brothers have a stranglehold over this. And this is not new. It has been there since the 80s. It's not a new phenomenon.
I think they have started the trend of starting channel against the government.
Exactly.
For NDTV itself, they have been
absolutely
working on this.
Absolutely. So these guys are the pioneers of television, pioneers of film production. A lot of the producers who are currently ruling Hollywood, if you want to call it that, they all are very, very intricately, deeply connected with the DMK's first family.
Okay.
So there is a lot of influence over the scripts from the DMK. If you see, the AIDMK has not managed to do what the DMK has managed to do. The AIDMK, Jayalalitha, though she came from a film background, she did not actually take any steps to sort of take over the media or create a film production house or anything of the sort. She didn't create an ecosystem. Whereas the DMK has done it splendidly. So whether they are in power or whether they are out of power, their scripts will rule the film industry. Okay, so I told you about the film industry. I told you about television serials. I told you about DTH, about cable TV. Let's look at the Tamil news media. News media. This is a favorite topic of mine. Now, what has DMK done? Now, obviously, some of their Benamis hold ownership over some of the news media in Tamil. Many of them. But what they have very cleverly done is the Dravida Kazhagam and DMK ideologues, right? They have very cleverly installed their people as editors.
Okay.
So you have a situation where even if it's, say, a channel owned by the Ambanis, who are not necessarily pro-DMK, or the Adanis, again, who are not necessarily pro-DMK, or any corporate for that matter, which is not necessarily pro a political party, pro-DMK, anybody, you will find that there are only one set of editors who will head channels in Tamil Nadu. And these people will have very, very close access to the DMK's first family. They will, more likely than not, they will be people who have come through the Dravidar Kazhagam route.
Okay.
So they are entrenched and embedded in that ideology, and they are all the king's men, if you want to put it that way, right?
Got it.
So they in turn hire people. So for example, I'll give you, there is one editor, I'm not going to name him. He basically, when he was the editor of a prominent news channel in Tamil, he would hire people, young kids coming from very poor parts of the state. They will land up in Periyar Tidal. Now Periyar Tidal is the Dravida Kazhagam headquarters. They have places where poor boys can come and stay, free places to stay. So these kids are picked up by this editor and forcibly put into jobs where they don't have the necessary. See, they are not trained, but they are force fitted into those jobs. Ideally, how should you do it? You want to give them a job? I'm not saying no. I'm saying let them be trained. They have to have a starting salary, right? So you come in as a fresher, you get trained, you get attached to a senior, you get trained, and then you enter the system. That's how it works. All of us were trained like that. But that's not the way this is done. This is, these kids are brought in at a mid-level. Without any knowledge, they are asked to lead teams. They are asked to go out and do this thing. And they are protected completely by the editor. So that, so for example, if a person is put as a cameraman, he doesn't know how to operate a camera. He refuses to listen to his boss, who's the head of the camera department.
Wow.
And when the head of the camera department tries to make him learn or tells him that you can't be doing this, there's some issue between the two of them, this person goes and complains to the editor. The editor, instead of saying, listen to your boss and learn what he's saying, he doesn't do that. The editor says, he takes the side of that boy because the boy is his supporter.
Okay, got it.
He's loyal to the editor. So this creates a lot of mess within the industry. You end up having people who are not following a hierarchy, people who are not getting trained.
Following their standards.
Yes, the standards of the industry will fall. And these people they realize that they will only survive if they are yes men of these editors.
Got it.
So the editors then create generations of yes men.
Okay.
And they create generations of people who are exactly like them.
Got it. That follows them.
That's it. And so you have the depth of journalism in Tamil Nadu, especially in the Tamil industry.
Okay.
So these editors, I would say, are single-handedly responsible for the death of journalism in Tamil Nadu.
Got it. Ma'am, so we have spoken nearly for more than an hour, I would say. So let's come to a conclusion. So because we can do more and more part of the series as well. I would like to conclude by what is the way forward for all these things. Like, until today BJP is struggling to make its way forward in Tamil Nadu. Even all those narratives are on. And today the Bharatiya Janata President, Mr. K. Annamalai has did this successfully. He had done his yatra throughout Tamil Nadu as well. So will BJP counter all these narratives, or will BJP able to make these things? Or let's say there is another Dravidian party also which has formed purely on the basis of the anti-DMK hatred or something. So they don't have any ideology or other things. So their ideologies, we will hate DMK to an extent. And they have succeeded in that also. So what is the way forward? Will BJP save the Tamil Nadu, or will BJP break all these kinds of narratives? What is your take on that now?
I definitely think the people of Tamil Nadu have been looking for an alternative for a long time. I think we first saw it in 2006 when Vijay first contested. And he was seen as the alternative. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way he should have ideally worked out. But since then, Tamil Nadu has been looking for an alternative, but without much success.
Okay.
Is the BJP going to be the alternative? The BJP has a very long way to go in Tamil Nadu. I've seen all the opinion polls that have been published so far. They are giving a very good vote share for the BJP. Anywhere between 14 to 20%, I think that's the range. That is a huge step up for the BJP.
Okay.
If that happens, it's going to be historic. I don't know whether they're going to win any seats. If they win any seats, even one seat is a bonus.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's going to be a very tough battle. I don't think they also are under any illusions. I think Annamalai knows very clearly that the battle is very tough. The road ahead is very tough. But he has done a very good start. I mean, looking at it objectively from a political party's point of view, I think he has done a very good job. To bring a party to 15 to 20% is no joke. And he has done it in a span of few years.
Exactly.
It's fantastic. Now, 2026 is going to be extremely exciting because we have one more new player in the electoral arena. It's going to be Thalapathy Vijay. And I think it's going to indicate a tectonic shift. My friends and I were discussing, we hope he's not going to become like a Kamal Hassan politically. I don't think he will, because he seems to have been planning it quite well.
Yeah.
But Vijay is going to definitely, for the people who are looking for an alternative, if Vijay manages to say the right things and do the right things, I think he is very capable of being a good alternative to the Dravidian parties. And yes, I think the othering, what we just spoke, making enemies, creating enemies, and creating political ideologies and political vote banks, that has to stop. We need inclusive forces in Tamil Nadu, not exclusive.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful time and wonderful interview, ma'am. I hope you should be regularly giving interviews and you should be regularly on our channel. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dharma.